What's going on, guys? Jerry Neutron here, back with a brand new video, and today we're going to take a look at a couple networking products. So I'm not really a networking guy, but Rosewill actually asked me to take a look at one of their AC600 wireless USB adapters, and at first I was kind of like, I think I'll pass. I've got this super old router, so I really won't be able to do it justice. And they were like, well, we've also got this router we can send out to you. It's not the newest thing out there, but it'll at least get your home network up to somewhat current standards. So I said, okay, go ahead and send them on through. So we've got a couple things that we are going to take a look at today. The first one is the router that they sent out. So the router itself supports up to 433 megabits per second on the 5 gigahertz band and up to 300 megabits per second on the 2.4 gigahertz band. It's not the fastest out as far as today's standards, but should get you some pretty decent speeds if you're working with a budget. So the router is pretty basic in looks. You've got your LED indicators on the front with a faux brushed aluminum across the top of the router, and then on the back you've got your various ports. So you've got a WAN port, and then you've got 4 gigabit Ethernet ports, and then a USB 2.0 port, which you could use for backups or sharing various files over your network. For some reason, there is no indicators for the active ports, which I would like to have seen them add there. And then for the USB adapter, the wireless AC adapter supports up to 433 megabits per second on the 5 gigahertz band and up to 150 megabits per second on the 2.4 gigahertz band. So again, not the fastest in the world, but if you're working on a budget, maybe something that will hold you over. They also sent me a couple wireless in USB adapters, which I'll go ahead and take a look at those in my own time, but these two things are what we're going to focus on here today. So let's take a look at the configuration options that you get with the Rosewill router. So as you can see on the left side, you've got your toolbar with your various options. So there's things like showing your status, your quick setup. You can configure both the 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz bands with various options. You've got things like guest networks, USB settings. So if you've got a USB mass storage device connected, it'll give you options for that. You can even set like a media server if you wanted to configure something like that. You've got port forwarding, NAT settings, bandwidth control. You can assign specific IP addresses to certain MAC addresses. And things like that. I don't really want to show too much because I've already gone in and set everything up, but just wanted to give you a little screenshot of how everything looks within the configuration menu and some of the things that you can come in here and set yourself. I know a lot of people like to do crazy things with their networks. I tend to just keep it simple and just kind of change the things I need, but I think really for the price of this router, a lot of the options that they give you are pretty good, so there's nothing really I can complain about here. Okay, so now that I've kind of gone over the hardware and software with you, I'm just going to go ahead and use this stuff for about a week or two, and then I'll come back and let you guys know what I think about the performance of these two devices. I'll probably use the wireless AC adapter on an old laptop, or I may plug it into my home theater PC and see if we can pit that against my Powerline Ethernet adapter to see which one performs better. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Okay, so I finally got everything installed and I've been using it for a while now. So the first thing I want to show you guys is a speed test that I ran. On the left side is a 100 megabits per second Powerline Ethernet adapter, and on the right side is the wireless AC USB adapter. So as you can see in the results here, my download speed pretty much doubled, and at this point I was pretty much just being held back by my ISP. So that was pretty good. I can't complain there, but theoretically I should be getting much higher speeds there. So that was a nice improvement over my old Powerline Ethernet adapters. And then the next thing that I did was actually transfer a 1 gigabyte file over my local network. And as you guys can see here, I was pretty much getting about 13.5 megabytes per second as my average speed, which equals out to about 108 megabits per second. So, I mean, that's decent, but that's actually not really that good for wireless AC. Yeah, so I was expecting a little bit better performance from the wireless AC just overall. I think the biggest issue that I have with that, or that's affecting performance, is actually the signal quality. It's just not that good with this router. And it was so finicky that I would use the PC maybe 1 hour and it'd be fine, and then I'll come back a couple hours later and it won't be connected to any networks at all. And that was kind of consistent throughout my use of the product. For me, that was pretty disappointing. But the biggest issue that I had with the router itself was reliability. So it seemed like several times a week my router would just cause my internet connection to pretty much drop. So everything would be working fine, and then all of a sudden I would start timing out when I'm going to various web pages, and the only way that I could resolve the issue is by rebooting the router. So for me, the router was fine, aside from the wireless AC performance when it worked, but the problem for me is that it's not consistent, it's not reliable. I would have to say, for me, both of these items I'm gonna have to say are a pass. I think that it would probably be better just to spend a little bit more money, get yourself something that has a proven track record. If you need some type of wireless adapter, I would probably recommend either getting something that's got a USB cradle where you can position the dongle somewhere else other than behind your computer to help combat possible bad signals, or get something that's got nice large antennas that will help as well. That's pretty much what I have to say about these two devices. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you have any recommendations for a different router and a different AC adapter, go ahead and leave those down below. Like this video if you found it helpful or entertaining. Subscribe for more similar content, and until next time guys, see ya. This is the HyperX Savage, a performance-oriented drive and successor to HyperX's 3K SSD. It's available in 120, 240,